Breaking news. Late yesterday, the Houthi rebel movement in Yemen, operating from Sanaa, claimed responsibility for launching a series of missiles toward Tel Aviv. The group identified the operation under its military commander, Abu Ubaida, and said their missiles were iron and fire, designed to penetrate enemy air defenses. The attack marks a significant escalation as Yemen's armed factions reach across the Red Sea toward Israeli territory. According to a spokesperson in Sanaa, the missiles were launched in response to an earlier statement by Abu Ubaida and were intended as salams, a greeting in militant code. The rebels invoked religious language, stating, "O Allah, let the target be accurate, and later announced that the drones or missiles had successfully bypassed Israeli defense systems. They further declared, observe the failure of the enemy's defense network, as they could not intercept our missiles, Israeli air defense systems, including components of the Arrow 2-3 and Iron Dome, are specifically designed to counter the growing missile threat from hostile non-state actors. Israeli officials responded swiftly. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant described the attempted strike as a clear act of aggression, and the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, reported that all incoming threats were tracked and intercepted as necessary. A spokesman clarified, "Our early warning and interception systems were fully mobilized and neutralized the threat before any damage occurred." Despite these official statements, Houthi sources released footage claiming to show the missiles in flight and unspecified telemetry data suggesting that at least one missile reached near Tel Aviv before Israeli defenses engaged. Analysts caution the footage could be exaggerated or manipulated, so independent verification remains challenging. Hashtag regional context and escalation. The Houthi group has repeatedly threatened to target Israel in solidarity with Palestinians, particularly since the escalation of the Gaza conflict. This is part of a broader pattern of expanding Houthi military reach, including recent attacks on shipping through the Red Sea and confrontations with U.S. naval vessels in the region. Yemen, engulfed in a prolonged civil war since 2014, has seen the Houthis consolidate power in northern Yemen with support from Iran, drawing the ire of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Western allies. Their growing capabilities have alarmed not only oil-rich Gulf states, but also NATO forces and global trade routes. The attempted strike over Israel carries heavy symbolic and geopolitical weight. It brings Yemen's conflict directly into the wider Middle East theater and signals a new phase where distant proxies pose a direct threat to Israel's heartland. Israel's response remains firm and measured. While confirming detection and interception of the inbound threat, the IDF has not at this time announced any retaliatory strikes. Politically, the launch is expected to strengthen support for continued coordination with U.S. missile defense initiatives and may accelerate deployment of additional interceptors. The United States, which maintains a maritime presence in the Red Sea and oversees regional air defense cooperation, issued a strong condemnation. A State Department official said, "We reject any missile launch targeting civilian areas and reaffirm our support for Israel's right to defend itself." The U.S. Navy remains on alert, with the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group having recently transited the area in close cooperation with regional allies. Saudi Arabia and UAE also condemned the launch, urging the Houthis to cease missile operations and warning they could escalate into broader conflict. Both nations emphasize coordination with international coalitions to secure shipping lanes and maintain regional stability. Iran, while not commenting on this specific incident, has historically supported the Houthis with arms, training, and political support. Iranian official statements framed the attack as legitimate resistance and backed the right of Yemeni factions to resist occupying forces. Hashtag technical and security implications. Military analysts warn this attack highlights a growing concern. Non-state actors with medium and long-range missile capability can now threaten strategic destinations far from their home territories. It raises new questions about the viability of existing missile defense systems when faced with saturation attacks or evolving missile types. Further, the Houthis' claim of breaching Israeli radar raises doubts about Israel's perceived aerial invulnerability. While Israeli officials insist all systems function correctly, experts suggest that even a single successful penetration would be considered a serious failure in strategic defense doctrine. Israel's alert level remains high. Civilian civil defense agencies in major cities have issued public warnings to the population, advising quick shelter-seeking in the unlikely event of future successful ballistic missile or cruise missile launches. Emergency response units across central Israel have been mobilizing for possible future incidents. What happens next? As tensions rise, Israel faces difficult decisions. Military planners may consider preventive strikes against Houthi missile sites in Yemen, though such operations would cross international boundaries and risk escalation. Diplomatic pressures on Saudi-led and Western-led coalitions to intervene more directly are likely to increase. Iran and its allies within the region may view Israel's response as another sign of aggressive posture, justifying increased support for proxy groups. The Red Sea could become a flare-up zone, risking disruptions to maritime commerce, a major concern for global trade. Israeli political leadership has reiterated its commitment to national defense, warning that hostile actions will be met with a firm and decisive response. However, with global powers now more directly implicated, any military escalation carries the risk of a broader and more complex regional conflagration. Closing summary ***. The Houthis' missile launch toward Tel Aviv marks a significant escalation in proxy warfare across the Middle East. The event demonstrates both the group's expanding military reach and the challenges of strategic air defense in a region rife with multi-layered conflicts. With all eyes now on possible retaliation and diplomatic response, the next few days may prove critical for